TK here again, back in the studio, and today I thought I'm going to show you just a little bit of the equipment that I used to record Symphony of Sin. So all the guitars, amps, effects, all the studio gear, check it out.
Unless you see the sands of time slip through your hands.
So my studio equipment is basically to replicate what I use live, and it's very simple. I just go straight from the guitar into some kind of distortion box. My favorite one still being the Yngwie Malmsteen preamp overdrive from DoD. Then into a noise gate to quieten the overdrive, and then straight into the amp. So in the studio my signal goes from the guitar into this Houston Kettner Tubeman Plus preamp, which for me just works like one big distortion box. From there the signal goes into this Rocktron compressor, which most of the time I just use the harsh noise gate to quieten down the preamp. I also use the compression sometimes if I need a little extra gain or compression on solos, but for most of the time it's switched off. From there the signal goes into my Marshall amp. Also make sure to always use good cables. The better the cable, the better the sound, and these ones are from Elixir. They're really good, and yeah, use good cables. So after the compressor my signal goes straight into my main source of power, the Marshall JCM 2000 dual super lead. And interesting thing about this is I don't use any of the ultra high gain stage of the amp. I used to use it on previous albums just for the rhythm tones, but on this album all I used was the classic gain channel, which is boosted from the Tubeman. The classic gain just has a slight distortion, more like an AC/DC Scorpions kind of distortion, but I kick it into metal with the Tubeman. And so all my rhythm guitar sounds and all my lead guitar sounds are just a classic gain channel boosted with a Tubeman. So the next very cool piece of equipment in the signal chain is this 2 notes torpedo speaker simulator. But it doesn't only do that, it also simulates any kind of microphone, any kind of speaker cabinet that I want in any kind of configuration. So this little thing here saves me a lot of space. I used to have a real recording booth with Marshall cabinets mic'd up and everything, which took up half of my room here. And since I have this thing, I don't need any of that anymore because it's all simulated digitally. Still, the amps are real, but the whole stage of miking the cabinets is simulated, and this thing is just amazing. It sounds absolutely natural. I think it sounds better like a mic'd amp because the possibilities that I can do with this would take me weeks to try out with a real amp, and I can just store any configuration, and it's just a fantastic piece of equipment. So the signal goes from the Marshall into this, and from the torpedo into the mixing desk. Okay, so all the album's clean sounds are done with this Radial J48 active direct box. So my guitar got straight into this DI box, and from there into the mixing desk. Very simple, but the sound I get from it is just super clean, and just joy to play, really. This is awesome. So as far as effects, I really don't use much. It's basically really just the kind of distortion that I want, and all the reverb and delay is added later in the mix anyway. But what I did use on Symphony of Sin quite a bit for the clean sounds is this Electro Harmonics warm pedal. and it has a really good phaser and let's see, like a tremolo effect. So I used that on a few occasions where I played clean sounds. I also used a Dunlop wah-wah on some occasion, and I used Digitech whammy for that crazy break effect in Break the Silence. I also used this, let's see, here it is, Zoom Multi-Stomp digital effects pedal for some stuff. I can't remember exactly what for, I think some delay effect or something. So this is a really cool piece of equipment. And as far as that's all I used on effects. Okay, as far as guitars, this is my main guitar for all the solos on the Symphony of Sin album. As I said, I used the same amp distortion for my rhythm and my lead guitar sounds, so the separation just really came from switching this guitar into single coil mode. So it has a little push-pull pot here, and if I pull it, the pickups are split to single coil. And that made a huge difference in my lead tones. So all the lead tones are this guitar with a single coil sound, and all the rhythm tones are this guitar with a humbucker sound. Simple as that. Also for some of the rhythm guitar parts, I used this Dean Dave Mustaine Flying V, which has active Seymour Duncan pickups in there, and it sounds just awesome. Yeah, these two guitars were the main guitars that I used for the album. This is my latest edition. It's a very cool guitar. It's a Dean Boca 12 string, and it's a 12 string electric, and I used it on Fallen from Grace. It sounds awesome. Got that Stairway to Heaven sound, if you know what I mean. Well, I used these two Dean acoustic steel strings for all the acoustic guitar parts, all the rhythm picked guitar parts, and I also used this Dean Flying V steel string acoustic, which is really cool for some acoustic lead guitar sounds if you're playing solos and stuff. So the last cool guitar I'd like to show you is this bass guitar. Actually, I didn't use it on Symphony of Sin, but I used it on Trinity for a song called Jerusalem Sleeps. We needed this kind of oriental intro thing, and instead of just using samples, I thought it might be cool to recreate a real sitar sound. And I found this guitar. It's not a Dean, so I'm not going to tell you what brand it is, but still it's a great guitar, sounds awesome, and very useful for many clean things in the studio. Okay, so this was most of the equipment that I used to record Symphony of Sin, but I forgot to mention one very important piece of equipment that I can't go without, and it's this blow dryer, and I use it to warm up my fingers. If I can switch it on. There you go, never go without it. Cheers, see you in the next video.